Welcome back to Turning Point Tonight, where we are charting the course of America's cultural comeback. Monica Page, Turning Point's White House correspondent, joins us from the White House. Big day going on at the White House. President Trump and Putin on the phone. Tell us about what you're hearing. What happened?
Hey, Jobob. Yeah, so it appears quiet here at the White House, but a lot of the action's been happening behind the scenes. We haven't seen or heard from any of the president's surrogates today on the North Lawn, but a lot of the action happening this afternoon with President Trump having an actual phone call with the Russian President, Vladimir Putin, regarding the state of the war, Russia and Ukraine war as it stands. And it's actually a pretty big victory for the White House. This is a first in this war, and it's the fact that Vladimir Putin has agreed on a ceasefire. It will stop attacking Ukraine's badly damaged infrastructure and energy sites that's been going on since the war started. Russia agreed that it will stop, which is a pretty big deal when you think about it. And we also know that Russia and the United States have both agreed that this war never should have started. It needs to come to an end, and that all the blood and treasure that has been spent so far is better deserved for the people on both sides of the aisle. So it'll be very interesting to see, how Ukraine will, come to terms with this latest agreement between Putin and Trump. So we'll see what happens here. I mean, of course, we also know that today at the White House, we were expecting some executive orders at this time. At the time of that we're recording this around 3:40 p.m. Eastern time. We still haven't gotten the exact executive orders that are supposed to be signed. We know the president was running a little bit behind schedule today. We also know that we're supposed to be seeing the JFK assassination files as well. They're supposed to be about 80,000 pages unredacted. So we're still awaiting that at this moment. But of course, anything can happen at any time coming out of this White House.
Yeah, I don't want to bury the lead of what we're talking about in the next segment, but one of the big executive orders that happened on Friday that President Trump signed was shipping all those gang members off to El Salvador. Can you talk about some of the backlash that the White House has received? In my opinion, unjust. But what's been going on regarding that?
Yeah, I'm really glad you asked that. I mean, we heard from Tom Homan just yesterday as this, illegal aliens and act was signed into law. I mean, we heard from him himself. We heard reporters asking questions. How can you tell if these people are actual criminals? What's the criteria that you guys are focusing on to tell who is the criminal, who's a gang member, and who's not? And I mean, it's very obvious. I mean, these criminals have tattoos. You can see, they've done all the logistics, they've done all the behind the scenes investigations into who is exactly the most wanted on this list. And of course, this administration has been very steadfast and very swift in deporting every single criminal. And Tom Homan said himself that he will not rest until every national security threat, every gang member is deported and out of this country. And for some reason, a lot of the mainstream media reporters can't seem to understand this concept or can't seem to really get behind this sole fact. But the message has been clear to keep Americans safe.
Yeah, I wish you were on our panel to discuss that, as we'll be talking about that just in a quick second. Monica Page, Turning Point's White House correspondent. Thanks so much for checking in. We will see you tomorrow.
Thanks so much, Joe Bob.
Thank you. As promised, I want to bring our panel back to discuss what is going on in the world of deporting criminals. Danica Patrick and Savanah Hernandez join us. So on Friday, let's get the timeline straight here. Friday night, President Trump signs an executive order citing an alien enemies of the United States from 1798, saying that he has the right to throw out criminals out of the country and send them somewhere else. You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. On Saturday, the ACLU, the lefty American Civil Liberties people who have betrayed their namesake, said, no, you can't do that. They issued a court order. A judge said, President Trump, you can't do that. And President Trump said, too late. They're already gone. My main question, though, is because I kind of feel like this is not really that controversial of an issue. Danica, at what point do the libs pick a better hill to die on? Effectively, right now, they are saying, how dare you, President Trump, send the criminal gang member dangerous illegals to another country. We want them here. Is that a good move, just politically speaking?
It's great for the Republican Party
There you go.
because they just consistently seem to be crazy and have bad ideas. And look, but as long as they are supporting votes, I think you're still going to see people trying to keep them here. But the number one job is that this country is kept safe and successful and be a powerful nation. And this can't happen when they come into our country. They absorb the money through Medicare or whatever program that they come through to support their lives. And then, on the other side of things, people that are affected by natural disasters are awarded $750 if you can get it. So I think that there's too much hypocrisy going on. And, as it's been well stated, that if you leave this country on your own and you aren't deported and you aren't marked down, you can come back. And I do think that there needs to be some level of immigration reform on how long it takes to be able to live in this country.
Totally.
Because it widely spans from being able to just cross the border and, get money for free to taking 30 years. And somewhere in the middle, there's got to be a good place. But it should not be controversial that there are illegal immigrants here that are doing bad things in this country. And so as long as they are toting this line of thinking that they should stay, I'm fine with it, because it just really just allows the Republican train, to forge ahead at a high rate.
Yeah, if they pick bad hills to die on, go ahead. That's fine with us. Savanah, so they're being sent to a lot of Venezuelan Tren de Aragua members being sent to El Salvador, where President Bukele has said, hey, we'll accept them. When the judge issued the injunction or the stay or whatever, hey, you can't send them out, President Bukele tweeted this. I'm not sure if we have the tweet up here. When federal judge orders deportation flights carrying alleged Venezuelan gang members to return, yada, yada, yada. President Bukele, the one who is accepting the illegals into his prison, says, oopsies, too late, crying, laughing face, which I don't know. I thought that was hilarious. Some people might be like, that's not appropriate for a leader of a country to say.
It's definitely appropriate. No, it's absolutely appropriate in 2025 when we have the official White House account putting videos up of illegals getting deported set to a 90s hit classic. I mean, what era are we living through? It's absolutely incredible. Also, somebody please go check in on Selena Gomez. She's probably crying in her closet because criminal TDA members got deported to El Salvador. I know it's really, really bad. But overall, Jobob, sorry I had to cut you off. It's just like, there's so many things happening in regards to this story. Let's not forget that Tren de Aragua was linked to shooting police officers in New York because they said, well, it's our culture. So like, we didn't know that it was bad to, shoot police officers in America. It's just our culture. We didn't know. Let's not forget that they're responsible for jewelry heists in Denver, that they were responsible for taking over entire apartment complexes with guns, that they were tied to the murder of Laken Riley and multiple other atrocious crimes in this country. Let's not forget that this is a violent Venezuelan prison gang. So I think that Bukele's response was absolutely warranted. And to all of these federal judges that are trying to come in, because this is one case of many in which federal judges are trying to come in and be a part of in terms of stopping the Trump administration from, quite frankly, making America great again, right? That's what we, the people, voted for. For some reason, these federal judges are coming in and trying to completely circumvent that. This is our next natural fight, right? And this is something that we're going to be seeing time and time again. So I really do appreciate the very honest and blunt response of like, oh, sorry, we already did it.
Danica, I want to pull on that thread a little bit. So you talked about kind of the structural immigration process needs to change. And I think everybody can agree with that, right, left, center, everybody agrees. One of the other structural issues that I think is fascinating that is kind of being shown to light here is the fact that somebody issuing a court order can pretty much, let's just say if the Trump administration had followed the judge's request, can just delay things for weeks, months, possibly even years from a systematic process issue. How do we fix that? Do we fix that? Is that something that we can take on as conservatives in the process of like, hey, we're going to do something. It's legal. We're doing it. It doesn't matter if you find some judge somewhere to issue something. Is there a way that we can resolve that system that'll actually allow the administration to do its job?
Right. Well, I think everything that's submitted needs to be of a necessity. And then, of course, maybe this is an area where people are needed to be hired. Maybe we need more workforce behind these issues to be able to get them resolved and be able to move forward with immigration. And, people that came over the border, for them to have for them to get to wait their 5-7 years before their court date to try and become a citizen of the United States. I mean, and then never show up. I mean, these are huge problems. There's obviously a disconnect within the legal system and how everything is operating and the pathways it takes. So look, the government is in a huge upheaval of renovating through Doge and what's not necessary anymore. But of course, there are going to be things that we find that are necessary and maybe need to be added. So these things need to have a better process so that they can be done in a timely manner, so that we can have efficiency in this country. So I think it's on its way. I maybe this is next. Doge goes everything from getting rid of all the things that we don't need, and then maybe phase 2 is adding in all the things that we do.
Ah, yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, I think just to clarify, what I meant to say was not that we should just get rid of the system. Just let's make the system better. And I think everybody can agree with that. And like to your point, yeah, that's maybe they need to add a bunch more judges so that they can make that process faster, quicker, and more efficient. Savanah Hernandez, Danica Patrick, thanks so much for joining me today. Really appreciate it. We'll have you back soon.
Thanks, Jobob.
Thank you.
Thank you. Coming up next, an awesome clip from Alex Clark's Culture Apothecary podcast. Don't go away. We'll be right back after this.